comments that anyone wants to make at this time?
I have a comment. Earlier this week in the paper, you said that I was wrong and that you had been doing collective bargaining and that you had been doing it this way for 20 years. Because I want to make clear that people understand exactly what went on. Because I have been asking Mr. Schmidt for the last 6 months to include me in your bargaining. I said to him I want to do the negotiation, when he's going to come back, when he would ask us for parameters, when he would ask us for the interest rate, what is going to be in the contract. So nothing happened last Friday. We said we were going to get an update. On Thursday, we're at the California School Board Association. I texted you, where are you going to talk to? You said, I cannot talk to you. I'm going down the agenda. I come out the door to John Salazar, and there he is talking to 4 people. I waited for him to stop talking, and I said, what's going on? He said, I signed an agreement. I said, you can't. You haven't come back to the board. It's wrong. You were supposed to come back for negotiations. That's how we do it here. That's how we've been doing it here. Then I asked you, Beth, you said, that's what we put in the paper. That's how we've been doing it there. So Beth, you're always quoting the CSBA, our California School Board Association. And I got to tell you, it's not other boards, a governing situation where they say, just say no, you don't have any right, or you can read about it later. So I called General Counsel of the California School Board Association. And I said, either she's wrong or I'm wrong. What's the policy? He just got back to me. He set up the legal CSB policy 41, 43, 42, 43. The board and the superintendent shall establish a bargaining team to assist in analyzing contract provisions and conducting contract negotiations. The board shall provide its negotiators with expected outcomes and clear parameters for acceptable contract provisions which promote realization of district goals and priorities. We do not sit there and just give him the right to negotiate. We give him parameters. We are not in compliance with CSBA.
Well, I would say that I feel that I did give parameters. I know that you and Mr. Salazar were asking that we have someone else do our contract negotiations, but it was a board majority that we would continue with our own staff representing, and that is what we did. And
that's not what I said. I said he would give them clarification where we should go, how much you can make, what is your provision, what about your contract. I wondered about your hourly, your stepping college. He gave us nothing. He then said, you want a kind of agreement? You know what else that happened on Monday? You get back to me on Thursday as I'm walking down the hall. Something's going out in the public an hour later. You did not, that is giving up our fiduciary duty. That?
I think also, on my behalf, I would say my questions were asked, my questions were answered by staff, and if you did not feel that way, I'm sorry.
Beth, we were involved in negotiations. This board was not involved in negotiation for this contract.
I would like to move on to other questions or discussion.
Well, from what you stated, I believe we are in compliance. We did give direction, we did approve the negotiating team, and I know I asked questions, Superintendent Schmidt along the way, he answered questions, and so I believe we are in compliance. We have given direction. We're not supposed to be on the negotiating.
We're not on the negotiating team, but we're just supposed to negotiate because it's our fiduciary duty. We did I can show you all the part of this board, the superintendent.
I think maybe bring it before us at this afternoon's meeting is when we can have any additional conversation. If there are any further questions of staff.
It's too late, Beth. Now that they're agreed, they're all here thinking that we're part of good faith, that we said, I was there, I negotiated for you. I wasn't. I found out at the last minute. And you know what, I want to tell you something, there are great teachers. My son is taking the best education. It's not, I bet this is wrong. It's just not the way it's done. This is not best.
I'll disagree, and I will ask if there's any other questions or statements or questions of staff.
One point of emphasis and clarity that's important is that input is not negotiated. And I think President Hergesheimer's comment, which I also read, is absolutely accurate. And that board members don't negotiate. Each board member had opportunities for input, and many asked questions along the way. Sometimes folks may not have agreed with the answers, but the history in this district is that the superintendent and the negotiating team have authority to negotiate a deal that's good for the community and good for the teachers. And I believe that's what's happened, as I mentioned in my opening remarks.
Okay, I'd like to
The proposed contract, after it was ratified yesterday, was posted yesterday, true. The current contract, which is still in effect until the new, right, okay, that's been posted for quite some time.
So the proposed contract, runs for less than 24 hours. And there's quite a few, new changes and new things in that contract. And I believe our district has a complete failure of the public right to know within this contract and to review it. And I believe that Mr. Bergesheimer, as president of the board, you're responsible for enabling this charade of transparency and open government. And I believe you should be ashamed of that. Based on the consent of the public. And the whole rush to action undermines that very principle. We're just not being transparent. We're just not telling the public what is in this contract. And in less than 24 hours, this is a joke. We need to not vote today and have workshops explain what's in this to the whole public comment and then just putting something out less than 24 hours is just not enough time. It's significant. It's the vast majority of our budget. And I think we really need to work with the public.
Right, thank you, Mr. Salazar. I would say that actually the best, from my perspective, a fairly disingenuous sort of comment to make. We may not have had the full contract posted, but all the items of change have been out there and available for 2 weeks now. And so the material changes have been fully noticed to the public with sufficient time. I'm going to ask if there's any other question or statement.
Yeah, I do have a question. I know there's been a lot of attention on class size in this new proposal, and I would like just to have that explained again, whether this contract impacts the class size in our schools.
Okay, I'd have Associate Superintendent Dr. Lauria address that. Dr. Lauria?
Good evening. The new contract language was actually a point of clarification because it was confusing for most folks to understand how a ratio was determined because the old contract mentioned 32 students to 1 certified teacher. However, it also mentions that in order to understand the actual ratio, you have to do a 6/5 times the staffing ratio, which actually gives you the FTE we provide to school sites for staffing. The new language simply clarifies the ratio. There is absolutely no change to class size under this process. And in fact, as Mr. Schmidt mentioned in his opening remarks, our staff have actually seen some of the lowest class sizes in a decade, and we have put forth over $1 million in the last several years in class size reduction in those areas as well. So in simple terms, it is simply clarification of language for our association members as well as the district so that we provide a little more clarity regarding how that equation works. But that's as simple as I can put it. It's a pretty clear process now for most staff to understand.
I'd like to refocus us a bit on the actual beneficiaries of this contract. I'd like to talk about our teachers. Recently, I had the opportunity to visit each of our 10 schools in order to sit in a classroom at each school and witness the magic that teachers bring to our students every single day. At La Costa Canyon, I visited with second-year teacher Lindsay Geisler and her biomed class. I was greeted by freshman Max Stanley, who proceeded to bring me up to speed on the details of the forensic investigation that class had been working on involving the body of a dead woman. The current area of investigation revolved around determining whether the woman's diabetes, established earlier and a clue to her possible cause of death, was type 1 or type 2. Total class involvement. State-of-the-art tools and information, including a visit from the Carlsbad Police Mobile Crime Scene Unit, Crime Lab, and all. Ms. Geisler clearly has put a great deal of time, study, and heart into the development of this class and the enthusiastic responses of the students paid tribute to her efforts. I had a great time. At Oak Crest, I had the opportunity to sit in Julie Bassler's Math B class. The class is divided into groups of 3 and 4 students. The groups change regularly. Very interactive discussions take place within the groups, while Mrs. Bassler encourages their thinking. Each team, after collaboration, agrees on an answer, and the team leader reports out to the class. Universal participation and enthusiasm. Common Core is alive and well in Ms. Bassler's class. Though many, many months were spent learning new methods, Ms. Bassler's enthusiasm for this, and I quote, much better system of instruction has ignited her classes. At Sunset, Craig Williams' multi-level math class is one of the most unique I have seen. It harks back to the days of the one-room schoolhouse, where a single teacher is giving individualized support to every student, whether they're studying basic math, business math, algebra 1 or 2, statistics, calculus. Each student is on a different page, studying a different concept. Mr. Williams travels the room with his whiteboard in hand, assisting students and understanding concepts. His kind, gentle, supportive style and creative ability to come up with current, concrete examples to explain a concept is quite impressive. And Mackenzie, good to see you. Jeremy Wirtz's mid-level symphonic band was busy rehearsing for their winter holiday concert, which actually is being held tonight at 7 o'clock on this campus. I listened as he had the group try out different dynamics, terracing the volume, adjustments here and there. The students responded to his every direction, sometimes trying 3 or 4 times to get it just right. Mr. Wirtz's style is very respectful of the students and appears to elevate their experience to a higher level of professionalism. The students respond with dedication and with beautiful music. I had the pleasure of listening to a medley of numbers that they will be performing tonight. Silver Bells, Let It Snow, Walking in a Winter Wonderland, Frosty the Snowman. It promises to be quite a show. Caleb, in Jackie Carney's Read 180 class at Dieguito, introduced himself and gave me an overview of the class. A large group was sitting with Ms. Carney, blogging about themselves and putting their blogs up on Google Docs for sharing with their classmates. Several other students were involved in computer work, testing and retesting their ability to spell. All of the students were engaged and eager to share their successes with me. The results of a recent test were in, and so many had shown leaps in their reading scores. Ms. Kearney's enthusiasm for kids and teaching and embracing new ideas was evident in all of her interactions with the students. Her words, after 24 years of teaching, I love my job more than anything in the world, and it shows. Math B at Earl Warren with Michael Godaboo is great fun. In Mr. Godaboo's energetic, commanding presence, one can hardly avoid being swept up in enthusiasm for math. His humorous comments elicit great class response, and everyone is fully engaged and loving math. His intricate yet clearly defined paper folding tasks, which turned into flip charts, which were then transformed into study tools for graphing equations, were of such interest to the students, trying to figure out what is this we're going to end up with. On the side, he threw in a spelling and pronunciation lesson or two, which kind of related to the graphing, and some really interesting